So hey guys, it's Chris again in Eugene. This is the Virginia load going to Virginia on the East Coast. 3-axle, 7,000 pound axle a piece. So 3 times 7 is 21,000 pounds. So that's usually the weight of this unit, about 20,000 pounds. This is a 40-foot long unit with a deck in the back. This we're going to pick up tomorrow and relocate and get prepped ready to go to Virginia. This guy's got a 4,000 pound hitch tongue weight because of the axles being all the way in the back. And it's an amazing unit because it's got a staircase, possibly windy on the road. It will probably be whistling all the way up there or down there. Anyway, this is a 2 5/16 ball hitch assembly. We're going to be picking this up again. It's a almost 14 foot tall, hopefully not much more than 13-11. This is prepped, ready to go. We're going to be picking it up tomorrow to go to Virginia with. So this is again, 40 foot, only 8.6 wide, believe it or not, but 40 foot being that the axles are all the way in the back, it's going to put more weight on the tongue. So this is almost prepped, but yeah, this is a very beautiful unit we're going to be picking up tomorrow. It's a Saturday after all here at Trueform Tiny Home. We're bringing a load that's going to Virginia Beach House. This is a almost 14 foot tall, look at that clearance. And we're going to prep it for that guy there. But anyway, this 14 foot, 40 foot long, almost tiny home. It's only 8 foot 6 inches wide. Look at that height up there. Anyway, look at the clearance on the bottom. It's almost flat with the ground, similar to a low deck, low boy. But look at that deck up at the top. That's nice. We got ground guides here. Got the forklift operator bringing it. And there's a guy sitting up at the very top there to give clearance to make sure nothing's touching. This is safety operation at its best. So anyway, it's still coming out. Guy up there is on the deck watching the roof to make sure it's not touching as he's pulling it out still. Tiny long home, let's put it that way, with a lot of tongue weight up at the front. Still coming out, still longer, a few more feet. And you know what's interesting with this guy? On the very back, there's also a deck that opens up, and the homeowner has still coming out. Look at the length of this guy. Anyway, the back of it opens up. You can see that partition. It's more of a deck. It just kind of lowers down. And it turns it into almost like a 50-something foot structure. And anyway, that's this tiny home that we're going to take over to Virginia on the road here this morning and getting it prepped, ready to go. And it looks like we got it out. We've got 3 axles, 7,000 pound axles, of course, the marker lights, and the rear deck with a wood siding. 1 door on that side. There's a few doors on the other side for utilities. It's got a propane tank in the front there for kind of like an RV setup. But the interesting thing is the steps going all the way to the very top there. That should be going down the wind quite, I guess I said that last time, possibly whistling. We'll see.
If I'm going to get ran over, I prefer it. This is also a thing. Oh, yeah. Get the camera off the hook? All right. I'll leave you alone. I'll let you go.
I hate technology. Okay, so we are connected, ready to go. We have to lift the hitch assembly a little bit higher. The bolt pattern is lifted up. The chains are locked in place, crisscross, the 7-way, the breakaway. The front is secured. We got a little window over here, but it should be okay because it's protected by the flaps of the truck, so all the debris will not splatter. Of course, the staircase going up. We have to raise it up a little bit. As you can see, there's a dryer vent just sitting literally so low to the ground. So we got to pay attention, close attention to the clearance on this unit because it could catch, but there's no way they manufacture it this way. You can see the low hanging point there, the dryer vent blower cover. And if you look closer, you'll see that there's an actual dryer vent and piping and plumbing just sitting maybe that much off the ground. That's like 6 inches, 7 inches off the ground, maybe 6.5 inches off the ground on the front. So having that clearance really low makes it very difficult for navigation over train tracks and various obstacles. We've already torqued the tires, made sure that there's enough pressure in the tires themselves. Looked for undercarriage loose items. The landing gears are all the way up. The back deck is all the way in strapped, and there's an actual strap that's holding it in place, including a winch cable back up there. This back deck turns this whole building into maybe like 50 feet, I think. Anyway, it's ready to go, and we're generally, as a rule of thumb, most trailers are designed with the idea that the tongue is going to be about 10% of the total weight of the trailer. So if the trailer is, let's say, 10,000 pounds, then generally the tongue should be about 1,000 pounds. If the trailer is 20,000, 16, 19, 20,000 pounds, then generally the tongue weight shouldn't be more than 2,000 pounds. Most often you'll find RVs, 16, 17,000 pounds, and then you'll find that the tongue weight on most of those things are about 1,500 pounds, 1,600 pounds, in some cases. And generally the hitch inserts are designed a little bit are designed to hold and to actually support those tongue weights. But in this case, with this particular load that we just picked up, it's unusually heavy. Unless there's lots of items loaded in the front of this tongue or in the front of the trailer, there's no way to explain it other than the manufacturer kind of designed it differently. Or, ultimately, trailers are supposed to be where you can actually move them. And if you can't move them because your truck is not able to hold the weight, then how is that going to be, how's that going to work out? So anyway, that said, generally a rule of thumb is 10% of the entire trailer weight is on the tongue in most cases. Well, here we are in Troutdale, Oregon. We're taking a quick fuel break and break with this unit here. We got it parked at our storage yard currently. We're going to be parking it here for the next few hours as we take our little rest to continue on the road towards Virginia. And we're currently in Troutdale. This is the unit currently ready to go. We're going to continue en route as soon as we take our official DOT break. Truck and driver switch. Due to scheduling conflicts, we had to reassign this load to a new driver who adjusted his hitch assembly. This is a Class 5 hitch assembly with ratchet straps and chains in order to reinforce his hitch assembly to carry the tongue weight on this unit itself. As you see in these pictures attached, the same unit, which, considering its weight, had to be reinforced and engineered to be supported by the 4,500 truck that's pulling it here, that's in the pictures. And after a little bit of engineering and ingenuity, we managed to secure the load itself and to properly address the tongue load weight distribution to assign the load to the hitch assembly attached to this 4500 truck. The driver decided then to get it inspected and weighed. And so here's the 3,400 pounds on the steer, 97 on the drives, and 17,000 pounds on the trailer, bringing a 30,000 pound weight distribution on the entire unit, meaning it's way over 26,000 pounds. And so we made it on our way en route. As you see here going through the mountains, this footage is from an old video. And of course, this is an old video footage as well, but it's showing the route that we have taken heading through Idaho and through Montana, further into the east states of America, as the driver continued its way going eastwards towards Virginia. And so this route here normally is a 4 or 5 day delivery route with intermittent stops en route, where we have to take our breaks in between and take our DOT regulated times. During these trips, during these intermittent or intervals, we made multiple stops and we inspected the load over and over and over. And so continuing en route at this intervals, we discovered an issue, and that issue was later pointed out here in this next video. Although this trip appeared to be flawless without issues, it really wasn't. We did experience some problems en route, especially right after the beginning of the pickup. Right after we picked up the unit itself, we experienced some weight issues with the tongue being overweight. And due to that, we had some trailer tongue problem, malfunctioning with our hitch assembly itself. This affected the availability of the delivery, and also the availability of the driver that was qualified to transport this load. We had access to a truck, but not the qualified driver. We also did not have reliability on the hitch assembly, considering the hitch assembly was much, much overweight. So because of those, we had to delay the delivery of this trip. However, with a bit of preparation, we managed to make this delivery complete and essentially deliver the unit safely to the customer, as you see in the next videos. So although there was some minor issues en route just after picking up the unit itself, with a little bit of preparation, a little bit of engineering, we managed to make it work. We met the DOT standard for the transport itself, and we got it there safely. Customer was happy. Everything turned out just fine. It arrived in Virginia, just like you see here in the next few videos.